Yeah, let's talk about cassava farming. Cassava farming is the cultivation and growing of cassava crops. Cassava is a staple food in Nigeria, and almost everyone in Nigeria consume cassava indirectly or directly. And it's not only Nigeria, it cuts across other major African countries. Cassava farming is one of the most popular farming ventures in Nigeria. Obviously, you find it across almost all the states in Nigeria. You see cassava farmers everywhere you go in Nigeria. And this is to tell you how popular the growing of cassava is in Nigeria. From Delta to Edo, to Bayelsa, to Ondo, to Ogun, to Oyo, to Osun, Lagos, Ekiti, Imo, Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, Kogi State, Kaduna, Abia, and a lot of other places. So it's a pretty common, cultivation, something that a lot of people, plant. And according to statistics, about 63 million tons of cassava is produced annually in Nigeria as of 2021. The botanical name for cassava is called Manihot esculenta, and it's a starchy tuber crop widely grown in tropical areas around the world. It is grown widely in Africa, Asia, and Southern America. Nigeria currently is the world's largest producer of cassava, according to Wikipedia, and cassava can be used to produce fufu, gari, and lafun, and of course a lot of other things like ethanol, cassava flour. That can be fufu, it can be elubo. Elubo is, it's also cassava flour. It can be gari, and of course, like I said, they use it to make starch. And some other tribes, can use the leaf to cook soup. So why is cassava cultivated in Nigeria? There are different steps. Number one thing is to select a site, get a good land that is very okay for cassava, and of course do the soil preparation. The land can be loamy soil, it can be sandy soil, it can be clay soil. I think cassava does well on these types of soil. So once you get a good or suitable soil, then you prepare the soil. Then after that, you get the cassava variety to plant. There are different varieties, and there are some that do very well fast. In 6 months or 9 months thereabout, they are good to harvest, and there are some they will be a year plus before they are very good to harvest. So it depends on your choice. Then you can get equipment, you can get cassava planter if you are doing it in a very big way, just to help you speed up the planting process. But if you don't have the machinery, you can do manual. Just get laborers like boys that can help you plant, and all they need is cutlass and the stem. Put them inside the soil and they are good to go. And of course, if you are doing more than one, you might need a little source of rainfall, probably irrigation. But cassava does not need a lot of water, so you can ignore this. You need a good weather, climatic condition, not too sunny, not too dry, so that there will be here, and of course there will be little rainfall. You need weed control. All these weed crushers, force up, all these chemicals to just clear the weeds. Then you need fertilizer if required. There are some they don't use fertilizers, but if you want a better yield, you might need fertilizer. And of course, you need the management of the pests and diseases, because diseases can affect the cassava at times. So the process is as simple as that. You can rent the land, you can buy if you want, and once you are done with the cultivation, you wait for 9 months. After you have done all these things, 9 months to 12 months, your cassava should be okay to harvest. And this takes us to the popular usage of cassava, which is for production of gari. Gari is majorly one of the most commercial usage of cassava. You can harvest yourself so that you can add value. You make money when you harvest, you process the cassava to make gari, and you can easily sell. And some, they don't want to do the stress, they will just sell off the gari. For the gari processing, what you need to do is harvest the cassava. Just use your manual hand with cutlass to pull out the tubers. And once this is done, you take it to gari processing factory. You can build a gari processing plant yourself. So in your compound, probably in a house or fence place, you can establish this. And some, they just look for a nearby processing plant and take the cassava there for processing. Yeah, it's almost this is cheaper, but for some that always have constant supply of cassava, they can actually have their home plant. So once you do this, you take it to the plant. Like I said, you have people to peel it for you. Once this is peeled, then you wash very well thoroughly. Then there is always a grinding machine in the plant. You grind. Some can add palm oil to give it some sort of yellow coloring, and some they don't. So once this is done, then the next thing is processing. You can see where it's being processed here. You allow it to ferment. You can use the hydraulic jack to remove the water out of it. Yeah, you can use the hydraulic jar, and some have local way of very local way, which is inexpensive. They use stick and use some ropes to make some sort of pressure on it. And once this is done, in about 2 or 3 or 4 days, this must have drained all the water in the cassava. Then at this point, you are good to go to fry. So once it's done, the next thing is sieving. Yeah, sieving some of the shaft from it and making it a very fine form of cassava that is about to be fried. So the next thing is to get firewood. Prepare this sort of firewood, a setup like this, and a frying pan, and you begin to spray around, spread it, just toil around the fry pan, spreading, moving it about, and in about few minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, you are done with the frying. It depends on the volume. It can take an hour or so before you finish. And once you are done, you sell, and the market price can be very good. As today, presently, that I'm doing this video in Nigeria, 1 Congo of gari is sold at 1,000 naira. So that's almost $1. So, and there are some that sell the rubber paint for 3,500, 2,500. That's about $2 or thereabouts. So if you are considering a farming venture, something that you want to go into, cassava can be one of it. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this is helpful. I hope someone finds this useful.